Something we tend to forget when facing life issues is that the Bible tells us that we have God on our side. Take our verse in Romans chapter number 8, verse number 31. And I think you're going to notice some incredible encouragement from it. I mean, there's an encouraging reality that the believer who's walking with the Lord needs to face. And he needs to embrace and really live out his life from the perspective that it gives. In fact, let me read it to you. Romans 8, verse number 31, our verse for today. It says, "What shall we say then to these things?" Obviously, he's talking more specifically about the things that he had just listed off in Romans. And he gets to verse number 31, and he says, "What shall we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us?" And I feel like that's an important thing to understand, that we have God on our side. It's like Paul is saying, hey, don't forget God. As you're making your equation, you're calculating the ability to overcome, if you're calculating the likelihood of success, or maybe even overcoming your fears, don't forget God. God is on our side. We have nothing to fear. No enemy can overcome God. And really let your imagination run with that for a minute. I think that we don't allow our imaginations about what that verse could really measure out to or lead to. And so let it run for a minute. You're facing obstacles, you're facing struggles, maybe you have some fears, maybe there's some things on the horizon that don't look avoidable. They don't look like maybe you have the strength in your heart to overcome them. And if God is for us, the obstacle should be shrinking. The enemy we face grows weaker as we remember God's ability. The situation is now able to be overcome. The situation that doesn't go away is able to be navigated. Does that make sense? I can walk through this situation. David wrote Psalm 23. He says, even though I'm walking through this valley that is shadowed with death, I don't have to fear any evil because God's with me. And so we have to remember that it doesn't matter what we face. What stands between us and what God says is ours is our closeness to him. Now read the verse. Okay, it says, what shall we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? And then he navigates out into, God didn't even spare his own son to make sure that our sin didn't keep us from him. So everything else that we face would be smaller than that. So what stands between us and God? Listen, nothing. God is for us. No one can be against us. They can if they want to, but they won't win. They won't succeed. They won't overcome us. They can't best God's power or authority. So let's live like we believe that God is for us and that nothing can stand against us. Have a great day.